Hello and welcome to the 139th episode of Fur, Fins, and Feathers. I'm Brian Lowney, who is the host of the program. Today our guests are Seay and Debbie Lawton, who are members of the Rhode Island Kennel Club. Welcome, both of you, again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to be here.
It's good to be here, and we are here to promote our Rhode Island Kennel Club show on April 12th and 13th of this year. And where is the show this year? It has been for the last few years. It is at the Wide World of Indoor Sports on Davisville Rd in North Kingstown. So it's a hike, but it's well worth the visit.
It's a pleasant ride, too. It's highway most of the way.
It took me 20 minutes to get here from Swansea.
Yeah.
Talk about the show. How many dogs do you think we're going to have this year?
Probably between 500 and 600, which is the usual entry that we have every year.
And how many breeds are, well, we don't know because the entries are still, they haven't closed, but...
well, there's, several hundred possibilities.
Where the AKC just told me this morning that we are upwards to almost 200 breeds.
Wow. It's a lot.
I would guess probably around 100 at the show. I don't know, that's just a guess. Maybe a little more.
But people should come to the show with an open mind, and they should come, well, if they came and they want to learn about a specific breed, that's probably possible, but people should come with an open mind, and they should be able to see a variety of breeds, probably some breeds that they didn't even know or recognize.
Some could have quite long hair and be large. Some will be small and could be almost naked. So, as you say, it's seeing something new in the dog world if you've never been to a show before. It's a confirmation show. Many people have watched Westminster on TV or the national show on Thanksgiving, and at those shows we see only the groups. What happens in our show would be in the afternoon. But if you come in the morning, you have the widest variety of dog breeds to see.
I say come early.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The show will open at 8 o'clock or 8:30.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might be this year a little pushed back to 8:30. But people should come early. They should come, bring a chair, a folding chair preferably, and plan to have a lot of fun.
If they've been to the show before, we've been in the bigger building at the Wide World of Indoor Sports, but this year we'll be in a different building, in the smaller building that's very close to the big building, but it is a different building. There will be signs up directing you to the correct building. But
yeah, for people who have never been to a dog show, what should they expect?
Well, it's basically an elimination contest where judges look at dogs in various classes to pick a representative that's the best of breed, who will go on in the afternoon to represent that particular breed in the group. The judge looks at a standard that he or she has understood and studied, and picks the dog that best meets the qualities of that standard. I know it's a little confusing to hear, but there's a club table, and there'll be people around who will help explain what's going on in the ring. Everybody's happy to answer any questions as long as they're not getting their dogs ready to go in and compete. So after they've competed is the best time. And there will be a program that lists times and ring numbers for visitors to follow.
So when you first get there, that would be a good thing to do, is to pick up a program so that you know what breeds are being shown at what ring, what time. And so that probably should be the first thing you do, is come to the, I guess they'll be at the club table?
Yes, come to the club table.
The club table, a table that says Rhode Island Kennel Club on it, and you can pick up a program
I
there.
will be there, as well as several other people, to help explain the goings-on of the show.
We've got a few special events as well. This year we have, as we have in the past, Pee-wees, which is for children, let's see, at least 5 up to 9, I think. 8 or 9 years old.
That is a class that I've always enjoyed judging.
Yes. And there are prizes and recognitions and a photograph for the kids that participate. For many of them, it's the first time in the ring, and they're there with a relative. So that can be registered for the day of the show. So if you've got a child that's been itching to show a dog, come over to the club table, and I think it's a minimal fee of $10, and kids can sign up and show later.
Does the dog have to be a purebred dog for Pee-wee?
Yes,
It does. Okay, so that is restricted to purebred dogs.
You bring up a good point, though, that I wanted to mention. If you come to the show and your dog is not entered, please keep the dog home. You can't just come into to the arena and bring a dog. The dog has to be purebred and registered.
And entered in the show.
And entered in the show.
Right.
There are first-time dogs, but for the most part, show dogs understand how to behave in a show. And a family companion may not have that training.
Right. Dogs have to get used to being around lots of other dogs at once. And some dogs are naturals at it, there's no problem, but for a lot of dogs, it takes a while for them to get used to that. And you never know what's going to happen when a dog isn't used to a setting like that. So.
Yeah. If you do come with family, know that entry to the show is at no cost.
Right.
So that's a great benefit, where lately you just go out for an ice cream cone and it costs half a week's pay.
Right.
But there's no cost. You can stay as long as you want, see as many different breeds as you want, get a chance to pat them and visit with their owners.
And Saturday is its own show, and Sunday is its own show.
Right.
So you don't have to come both days to see the whole show if you're interested in staying for the whole show.
If you want to come back on Sunday, you're more than
Yeah,
welcome.
each day is a separate show, and so that means 2 Best in Show winners, and so it's a lot of fun.
Our judging panel is a tremendous one, with good judges from all over the country.
They are. They're flying in and staying Friday night, and part of my job for this show is to get them over on Saturday morning and Sunday morning and back to their hotel. That's a responsibility that the club has, to take care of those judges. But they're always happy to be here.
And they always appreciate coming to our shows.
They do. They do.
One other thing is that we'll have what's called a supported entry at these shows, and that means that there will be more of one particular breed than probably the rest of the other breeds. The 2 supported entries at these shows are the Papillon, which is a breed, a small toy breed, and a
With
Saluki.
butterfly ears.
With butterfly ears, and then a Saluki, which is a long-coated, well, not long-coated, but longer than his. So it's not short, but it's a feathered breed. They have hair on their ears, but it's a sighthound that's used for hunting rabbits. So those will be shown, probably more of those than some of the other breeds.
And they're beautiful to watch move around the ring.
Yes.
Those hunting dogs, and they're just like floating on air as they move so well. If you're interested in puppies, We do have a 4 to 6 month puppy competition. So usually dogs under 6 months are not allowed in a dog show, but we make an exception for these, the AKC does. And they're judged like any other against their standard, but they're very young. It's cute to watch because you never know what a 4-month-old, 5-month-old puppy's going to do who's heading into the ring for the first time. And the judges are very welcoming to them.
Now, we have 7 groups. We have terriers, hounds, the working breeds, terriers, toys, non-sporting, and herding.
And
We could
sporting.
and I started with sporting, yeah. Talk about the different breeds, the groups.
Oh, wow.
The sporting group members are pointers and setters and what else?
Pointers,
setters,
retrievers, dogs that are used for hunting birds.
Cocker spaniels.
And the spaniels. I can't leave out the spaniels.
Yes. Guys with guns who have their dogs. Those are what the sporting group is, basically.
Moving on to the hounds. You are a hound expert.
Hound is our hunting dogs also, but hunting in a different way. It's roughly divided into 2 different types of hounds. You have scent hounds, which primarily use their sense of scent to hunt, and then also sight hounds, which use their vision to see the prey in the far off distance and run it down. So that's the main division of the hounds, the hound group.
I think most people are familiar with the working group, the bigger dogs.
Newfoundlands,
Yeah.
boxers, Danes,
Dobermans.
Yeah.
Dobermans.
Yep.
And then your expertise is in terriers.
And you can tell I don't know a lot about the other hound, the other groups. But yeah, terriers. There aren't as many terriers lately as there have been. And I think...
Much to my chagrin.
Yeah. I think part of that is that terriers, including my breed, a border terrier, have opportunities to do so many other things in performance. They have nose work and earth dog and fast cat, which is an introduction to lure coursing, which this guy knows all about.
Oh, yes.
And so I think we have to figure out where best to spend our money and what our particular dog enjoys doing. I've always showed my dogs to a championship, and then we branch out and do other things. Obedience. We don't have obedience this year at the show, but we do have rally. I've never done that. Have you, Steve?
I have not, but I've helped steward rally.
Uh-huh.
It's really interesting. I think it grew out of obedience, but it's another form of sports with your dog where the relationship between the dog and the handler is very important because they take cues from each other and perform different exercises, and so it really takes a strong relationship between the handler and the dog, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, the dogs can stay on leash in the beginning, which is helpful for many people, and they start and stop and walk fast and heel slowly and turn in circles, and
It's very interesting to watch.
yeah, do all sorts of things.
Then we move on to the toy group, the small people. Love. A lot of people come to the shows and they enjoy watching the toy breeds. Yorkshire Terriers, Papillons will have a big entry in Papillons this year. Chihuahuas, etc.
Right, the small dogs,
The small
the
dogs.
tiny dogs.
The little chihuahuas, I think everyone knows too.
Yeah.
The yappers.
Then we move on to the non-sporting group. That's a group with a lot of different types of breeds. The Dalmatian, the French Bulldog, which was ranked #1 by the AKC this year.
As far as
in numbers,
registrations, right?
and numbers of registration.
Come here.
And there are various sizes too, from the little French bulldog up to the Dalmatians.
Yes, and
good size.
or the large poodle,
Right.
the standard poodle.
Dogs that don't really easily fit in another category.
And then
Right.
the last is the herding group. The herding group are collies, shelties, Boscherons, and a lot of the dogs that are used to herd the breeds.
Tervuurens.
Tervuurens.
Border collies.
Yep. They're very smart, very fast
Oh,
dogs.
Yes, they are.
But what's nice is if you're interested in a particular breed, let's say a Dalmatian, you can talk to a person who's been showing a Dalmatian or who's bred a Dalmatian and hear what type of situation they're happiest in. Some dogs aren't meant for every family.
Right.
And every family's not meant for every dog.
Connell. No,
Hey,
it's okay.
yeah.
Good boy.
Tell us about your breed, the
Sure.
Whippet.
The Whippet is a breed that comes from the Greyhound, obviously, because they look very, very much like a Greyhound, only they're smaller. They were bred to hunt rabbits as opposed to larger rabbits known as hares, which Greyhounds were bred for. They came from England in the late 1800s, so they're a much younger breed than the Greyhound. But they participate in lure coursing, which is a sport that simulates a rabbit hunt, fast cat, obedience, lots of other things Whippets can do.
They are very versatile.
They are. In fact, that's kind of their calling card, is their versatility. They can do lots of different things. And they're a good size for doing different activities and living in your house too, because a lot of people prefer Whippets because of their size. They're not too big and not too small, easy to live with. So,
They have a nice coat as well.
yeah, nice
You know.
silky, soft coat.
A lot of the terrier breeds are what's called hand stripped. And you may see some of that at the show. People who are readying their dogs and they're just pulling on their hair and pulling it out in various areas, which can be a little frightening at times, but it doesn't really hurt them. They enjoy it as much as anything. But they have a wiry, hard coat as opposed to this nice, smooth, soft coat on your breed.
Come here.
So I think the important thing to tell people is to come early, have fun, spend some time. I tell people that come to shows, don't come, say 15 minutes and leave. You've got to invest some time. Have fun. Plan on spending at least a couple of hours.
And even if you come in the afternoon, you'll get to see 7 groups, representatives from all the breeds that have shown that day in each group. And also this year, what's called an owner-handled group. So it's only for the people who own the dogs that show the dogs. There's not any professionals in that group. And that can be very exciting to see.
Another benefit of coming to a show is you get to see what a show is, for one thing, but also learn about other events that the club has, which includes scent work, which is a whole different thing than showing or conformation. And it's also a chance to learn about the club itself. If you're interested in dogs enough to become a member of the club, we are always welcoming people into the club. Whoever wants to join us for whatever reason, we'll welcome you. And we meet once a month. We have our main events are the shows that we have every April, and then also, as I said, scent work in June. We've done some other events too in the past, so we're always looking at having other events to give opportunities for people to have fun with their dogs. That's what it's all about.
It's a very good point. And an activity such as scent work it can be an all-American breed. It doesn't have to be an AKC
It can be a mixed breed.
registered
Yeah.
breed. It can be a, so if you're interested for your family to come, that's great. Rhode Island Kennel Club's been around a long time.
Since
More than 100 years?
1886.
1886.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very few clubs have had the
It is the
longevity.
second oldest kennel club in the United States.
Is it really?
That's
Wow.
right.
Wow. Wow.
Just behind Westminster, actually.
Yes.
Well, there's a bit of bragging rights that we've got.
I guess so.
And please, if you do come to this show, come up to one of us
Yeah.
Please make yourself known.
and say hi, or we saw you on television, or we come to this every year and hope to learn more about different breeds, and we're all there to answer whatever questions you have.
Absolutely. We're always willing to talk about dogs, especially.
Especially our own dogs.
Yeah, we could sit around all day and talk dogs.
She's raring to go,
Yeah.
sniffing everything.
And of course, you mentioned about the Pee Wee class. Excuse me. On Saturday and Sunday, the Pee Wee class is for kids from ages 5 to 9
Right.
with a parent or guardian. And they must wear, the dogs must have a proper collar and leash. And it's a fun thing to do.
Well, it's a way to introduce
And it's a way to introduce.
the next generation to the fun of dog shows. You know, there are a lot of young people that start off as juniors, or their parents were professional handlers, but this is a way for
Hi there.
people to introduce their young ones to shows for $10. You
Yeah.
know, it's well worth it.
Exactly.
They'll get some recognition and lots of applause. And it's at noon every time. I think you can
It will
sign
be
up.
at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, you can sign up till
Both
about
days.
11:15, 11:30. And it's very cute. Kids get dressed up and there you go.
Many young people become junior handlers. They
Yes.
enter junior showmanship. And
And some juniors go on when they become adults to become professional handlers, and that's their
or breeders or exhibitors.
right?
Mhm.
And travel the country showing dogs and make a living at it. So there's lots of opportunities.
He's coming back.
He's coming back.
He's coming to visit.
He has explored a little bit, so he's a little happier, I think.
I have had juniors as a juniors judge. I have had many who have gone on to become lifelong friends and have done some great things in the sport.
And in juniors, it's not the dog that's judged
No.
as much as the young person.
It's the
showing
young
dog.
person and their ability to present their dog to it the best of their ability.
In fact, I have a 5-year-old border terrier in England whose handler, a young junior, was just named best handler, junior handler in her particular area. So
Excellent.
I just saw that on my Facebook today.
Awesome. That's great.
So
Yeah.
it's an international sport.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Yeah, in
yes.
fact, Crufts was just held not too long ago, and that's the biggest, I believe it's the biggest dog show in Europe, but it's held in England, and I think they had about 5,000 dogs entered in that
They
show,
did.
but it's also the most prestigious show in Europe, I believe. And Whippet won Best in Show, actually. I have to brag about that too a little bit, even though I have no relationship to the dog, but it was a Whippet.
That's okay.
So
That's okay.
It was exciting.
For terriers, our big show is Montgomery, which is held in early October, and we welcome people from other parts of the country. A lot of the terriers, or most of them, initially were bred in England and Wales and Scotland and Ireland. So we have quite a few people that come from those parts of the country, which is nice. Yeah, there's a special foreigners booth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but nice place to see people. Huh? What do you smell? You smell my guys?
Probably.
He says, I like your
Come here.
hair that's on your coat.
So we are going to invite, as we are here, to invite everybody on April 12th and 13th. Mark that date to the Rhode Island Kennel Club in North Kingstown, Rhode Island, and it's online. Our show today will be online, of course, in a couple of hours maybe, but people can come both days, the 12th and 13th of April, and it's a fun-filled event.
If you want to get a little head start on when you might schedule this, there's a website called www.infodog.com. And if you can search that site by state, it's the easiest way. And about a week before the show, they'll have a judging program available, and you can see when your favorite breed is being shown, because it's very disappointing to say I really wanted to see the Kerry Blue Terriers, and they were on
At
an
9
hour.
o'clock or
Right.
something.
Yeah. So www.infodog.com.
Well, I thank both of you for once again coming. It was great, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the show.
Thank you.
We'll
Brian.
be there.
Thank you for coming.